So I will be narrating a story that is favorite with my audience. It is a real life story, success story, and also favorite with me, so as to gain maximum amount of insights, lessons, and achieve a goal which at the start you feel is impossible. So first, let me spell out some lessons and insights which have been always coming handy to me. First is never blame your circumstances. I have found many people, they prove to be non-starters because a goal is came before them, challenges given to them, they look around, get disappointed and say, I am withdrawing. With this kind of environment, this kind of audience around me, this kind of team, let me not try. Okay, so they keep blaming rather than. Number two, we often underestimate ourselves, and that is particularly true when we compare ourselves with those hailing from developed world, Europe, America. The third is you have to know yourself well. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? So that you know what you can achieve, what you cannot. And this can only be done when you constantly discover and rediscover yourself. Now, this story is about a groundbreaking innovation which I had to deliver as a solution to a problem which the international team was working and they were not able to arrive. There was a micro pickup vehicle. I was working with an automotive company. We had a micro pickup vehicle which had to be converted with electric powertrain. Actually, lighter and smaller the vehicle, more activities for converting into electric powertrain. So we had in Europe, we had a team in UK, Warwick University, working on this project. And for motion control part of it, they had requested my collaboration. So I was traveling very frequently from India to UK, helping them. So it was a micro pickup vehicle, which in itself was an innovation, having won innovation awards internationally. But now we were converting that into electric power. So when I went there once, they said, we have an interesting assignment for. What is it? They said, we are surrounded by the university, so we give internship projects. So we have a third year mechanical engineering intern who is working on finding the range of our prototype micro pickup vehicle. So I was quite elated. So far I have been mentoring all our Indian students, but this would be first time. An international student I would have a chance to mentor, that too a mechanical engineer. I am myself a hardcore electronics person, but once you are into automotive field, you cannot say I am electronics, I am mechanical, we have to do it. So I said, by all means, I will be very happy and honored to mentor such a person. And we are all heard that their education system, our education system, and we constantly underestimate ourselves, that what they can do, we can never do. The way they can think, we can never think. I said, now this is the practical opportunity where all those assumptions, all those disappointing statements which we hear, we can see, is it true or false? So I asked the boy, he was a proper British-born, British English student, third year mechanical in a world famous university. So I asked him, you must have started your assignment. He says, yes. So how are you finding the range of our electric vehicle. You see that we have our university lanes and bylanes which are deserted during the day because people are attending lectures in laboratories. So I ride that vehicle with full throttle. I press it to the full with my foot and let it go to the top speed, which is 55 km per hour, 55 kmph in that time. And I go on roaming with the vehicle like this through bylanes and lanes without any hindrance till the time the vehicle speed falls to 50 kmph because the battery has come down. I stop there. I note the odometer reading. I was finding his approach very interesting. But of course, I had so many questions in my mind. So I immediately told him, you have made really good attempt. But let me ask, do you agree that this is the most erroneous way of finding range of any electric vehicle? Because in real life, people will drive that vehicle with many accelerations, many decelerations, fly over, and instead, if you drive with a constant throttle, kind of a constant force, your own Newton has given us law number 1. According to that, it is almost a zero energy kind of driving, which cannot be compared with the value of range which I will otherwise get. He immediately agreed. But he said, I have a problem. I said, you please hold on, let me tell you how to do it. Then you will see your problem. What is it? You go to chassis dynamometer. All the OEMs and even automotive research centers, they have an equipment called chassis dynamometer. What is chassis dynamometer? Chassis dynamometer means there are 4 rollers, one for each wheel, buried in the ground, in the workshop. You put your vehicle on those rollers. So if the driver drives that vehicle with the prescribed pattern, time versus kilometer per hour, rollers start rotating in opposite direction, exerting torque. So the vehicle stays stationary in effect, action and reaction. Okay. But what you are able to do is you almost test it as if it is a real life driving. They call it driving cycle. So it is the expert test driver who rides this vehicle in chassis dyno, and before his eyes we have the beam going across the screen, tracing the desired speed in the driving cycle, up and down, coasting, acceleration, deceleration, and the driver watches it and exactly operates the accelerator so as to closely mimic it. That is what we call driving cycle. All OEMs, all vehicle manufacturers have it, and what we do generally is for emissions, such test is carried out for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Also, your fuel consumption, this kind of test is carried out. So naturally, I asked him, why don't you go to chassis dyno and emulate a driving cycle? Maybe you're a European driving cycle, and then you will know. He said, I agree totally with you, but I have a problem. What is the problem? Here I may need an hour or more than that. Okay. Which driver can have patience and accuracy? This is where human versus computer you can compare. A human being cannot do any job which is repeated, constantly repeated. So he says it is impossible. Forget a young driver or old driver, adult driver, nobody can keep mimicking for 1 whole hour or even more than that. That kind of driving cycle. So that is where I decided to have my throttle, which will be full throttle and do it, which I found easy. So I appreciated it that you have correctly identified a problem. I agree with you. But I don't agree with your solution. This is no solution at all. It is not giving you the required result. So he said, what solution I can suggest? I said, you wait. I am coming every 15 days. So next 15 days when I come, you will have your problem solution. So I went back. We had many postgraduate trainees from top Indian colleges. I picked up a bright engineering trainee. And I said, we together have to give solution. I said, why do you need a human being inside at all? Everything is electric. We can have a computer which can emulate your human being algorithm. Okay. So what we did, we went around our laboratory and so many kind of computer cards like your National Instruments, LabVIEW, those kind of cards were lying. We assembled a computer rack out of that and said, now we are going to devise our algorithm to emulate driver. But can we do it? Because next 15 days I have to go back. I said, I am giving you innovative algorithm. How? All of you have heard of PID algorithm. I said, mine is much simple and innovative algorithm. Imagine yourself as a driver and you want to drive. You are an expert driver, you have usual vehicle and you are asked to keep the vehicle speed constant, so to say 50 km per hour. That is the speed limit. What you do, being expert, you don't look at the speedometer immediately. You, with your habit in your brain, a table is programmed. We call in computer parlance lookup table. If 50 kmph is the speed, this much should be my movement of my leg. And that is what I do without looking at the speedometer. So speedometer will reach around 50, say plus minus 5. So as an expert driver, you come to know that vehicle has stopped acceleration and I must have reached very close to the end goal. Then I look at the speedometer and I find I am anywhere from 45 to 55 plus minus 5. Then what I do is I incrementally advance my leg or I decrementally retard my leg in case I am overspeeding and I reach. This I have named as feed forward plus integral algorithm, which is again patented. What is feed forward? Feed forward is from input to output. Feedback is output to input. So feed forward is computationally very easy. Only fill up a lookup table. Program the lookup table by practical experiments. So you have a correct answer or a near correct answer at time t is equal to 0. So your computation is 0. So for 90% of the time it is a zero computation algorithm. And when you reach your goal, you don't need P because you are near 0. P into 0 is 0, error is 0. P out of question. D is actually when you are moving very fast and you feel that in future you may dash against something, you take a corrective action. That is D, derivative. I don't need D because now there is no question of future. I am almost coming to my goal. So I only need I. I is summation, very easy for computation. So I either increment or decrement. That is a kind of algorithm in a day we are able to put together, and then various C shifts, night shifts, we could get our own chassis dyno and we perfected it. So next time when I went, I delivered it to the delight of everyone. And this particular technique became so groundbreaking. There are many innovations here, many possibilities where you can even test the battery. You can even have oven from minus 40 to plus 50, very important for electric vehicle where there is no driver. Okay. We also tested our buses which were to be exported to Europe using this. So naturally I said now is the time we want to publish. Now, if you see revise the lessons which I have done. First is never blame the circumstances. Okay, like the student was blaming that I am not be able to go on the chassis dyno. How should I do it? No, don't blame the circumstance. That is an opportunity. Don't underestimate. I could easily say, they are all European students, European faculty. How can I match them? No, I am not going to take up these interests. But I did. There are various others. You can write in comments what lessons you have. Okay. So we said we are going to publish this internationally, and there was a congress coming up, World Congress in Budapest. So I told our young student that both of us will go to Budapest and present. Unfortunately, just a month before, we were called into manager's cabin saying that from today, we are starting on cost reduction. Only one of you can. Tell me who is the principal of. Now, our young engineer, he had already publicized he is going to go to Budapest because on the first year of his joining. Naturally, I could see his face losing color. But without batting an eyelid, I said, he is going to go with company sponsorship. I have enough resources to sponsor myself. I will go on my own. Then he became very happy. Then I said, I will tutor you how to address international audiences because you will be the official representative. We did that. He was a fast learner. I schooled him, reschooled him, rehearsed. So when we reached Budapest, he was able to really deliver very well. I told him I will be there to handle his questions. So it is that kind of idea which after hearing people think why they did not know. Because when we Googled this idea, after our test was successful, we found there is really a driverless chassis dyno. We call it driverless chassis dyno. But people are putting robo instead of a driver, which is defeating the purpose. Maybe the robo was really effective when we did not have electric or by-wire powertrain. See, it did not be electric powertrain. Anything with electronic throttle will communicate with the language of voltage and currents. There we will have it. So anyway, so this is where people surrounded us. One of them was the Chinese from FAW, First Automotive Works. And he told us that they have been struggling for last 5 years to have such an equipment, because now this becomes a very zero cost test equipment for powertrain, for battery, for everything. And 45 people have been working for 5 years. They could not think of it. But then now they are very happy. And he asked us many questions. We answered. Then we went to our company kiosk, which was there. This kiosk was specifically put together to attract Indian talent working in Europe so that they can come back. The moment we went there, our people told us, one foreigner is looking for you. He has kept his card. So we asked them, was it a Chinese? We are already talked. They said, no, not Chinese. It is a huge, giant German. They gave us the card. This card belonged to editor of ATZ Worldwide. The very famous magazine for automotive community. It has a stature of Time magazine. So imagine our delight that some international editor is approaching us for an article. Okay, so we talked to him. So he praised our idea. He said, we have to submit that article in English as well as German. Okay, we said we don't know German. He said, generally having your article in our magazine itself adds such a value to your resume. People don't mind paying for translation, but you are our guest, special guest, where I have approached you, so we will be paying. So when we went back to India, the German translators used to call us. what is meant by drive side, what is meant by timeout. All these are English words but technical. And at the end, when the article appeared in both German and English, we could find some of the words could not be translated. They are there. But this particular episode has become a lasting milestone, lasting beacon, inspiring me as well as others. What we can do if we don't fear and fearlessly we attack a problem. By the way, the young student, the young engineering trainee who was with me, he is now a chief technical officer of a global company dealing with electric vehicle related assignments. So do listen, do watch, do again listen to this episode. Try to derive insights, try to have lessons. How do you have innovation? Innovation is all about finding weakness of a situation and attack. Let's see how we found the weakness. The weakness here was the electric environment. That is one. The next fit for purpose integral, again weakness, is you only have to concentrate on the last 5%. That is why our computer algorithm became very compact and very easy. There are many others. I also want to learn from you all. Write your comments. What better we can do? Who knows? In one of the comments, even better solution will come. Thank you and my best wishes in your job.